song is the same when you get to the point of it.
That's a song there called Sorry. It's the latest release from Daniel Moir. He is from Edmonton but has been based here for quite some time. He's an interesting guy. He's done a lot of travelling, a lot of songwriting for his young age, and he's with us right now. Hello, Daniel. Thanks so much for coming all this way. It's always a pleasure to welcome folks like yourself down here.
Well, I live just on the other side of the endowment line, so it wasn't quite a long way. But
okay, because I was just about to say it's like the sort of the hard yards of getting on that number 99 bus coming all the way down.
Well, no, it was a car and it was a 5-minute drive. It's pretty easy.
Well, that's okay. It's okay. Just to have written all these fantastic songs, I think, is a lot of work too. So, what can you tell us first up about that your very latest release? Sorry.
Well, I just put it out maybe 3 weeks ago, and we're working right now on a music video for it. But it's the first song that I've done, I guess, kind of in this new style I've been working with. So I'm writing a whole bunch of music, kind of along the same vein, which is a little bit different than the older stuff. And there's going to be an EP coming up, more of that kind of genre. 3 albums out. There's 2, I guess you would call full lengths, and then 1 EP.
So we have Road in 2010 and Monday Morning 2013.
Yeah, that's
right. That's right. Well, let's are you interested in getting right into a live song here, and then we can come back and chat?
We could do that, yeah. Yeah, it's a song off of the 2013 one, Monday Morning.
Long night in the country, my mind is stretched for a mile. My time is spent pulled in for the evening, held up and lay my body down for a little while. And I'm not gonna worry about things like that no more. And I'm not in a rush now, a loss that need to be found. When I found what I was looking for, well, a crow, it only crows the only way that it knows. I go just where the river goes. I keep my mind on the show, and the wind, it only blows the only way that it knows. I stand just by the riverside, I watch it all unfold. Small town on the coastline, you helped me to find my own voice in the closest of times. Had to do things my way, couldn't stand the thought of looking back when the deed was done. And the times they are changing, I can feel it in my bones, and I'm right where I should be, a loss that need to be found. When I found what I was looking for, and you're knocking on my door, well, a crow, it only crows the only way that it knows. I go just where the river goes, I keep my mind on the show, and the wind, it only blows the only way that it knows. I stand just by the riverside, I watch it all unfold. Well, a crow, it only crows the only way that it knows. I go just where the river goes, I keep my mind on the show, and the wind, it only blows the only way that it knows. I stand just by the riverside, I watch it all unfold.
Fantastic live music from our special studio guest. He is Vancouver-based singer-songwriter, and that was a track from his 2013 release, Where the River Goes. Is that?
That's the track name, yeah.
Yeah.
The album was Monday Morning, that one.
And a beautiful gatefold cardboard cover. And apparently, for folks who buy this, money goes to Eco Justice.
That's right, yeah. $1 out of each album.
And they're a non-profit based in Vancouver. And it's timely to talk about this too, given what's happening with the Enbridge pipeline. And I'm sure Eco Justice is right in there with strategizing about how to stop that. So
yeah, there's been a lot of stories popping up about that lately, for sure.
Yeah.
I was up last night watching YouTube videos on that topic, actually. Yeah, it's just a crazy time to be alive.
It truly is. It's incredible. And to see the solidarity of First Nations and everyone who cares in this part of the world.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening in Australia, we're talking about the federal government has put a conditional or green light ahead for a huge pipeline to go from it's starting in Alberta. Is that where it's meant to start? Or
I believe so, and that's going right through the First Nations land, splitting it in two, basically.
Yeah, all the way to the coast of British Columbia, so that then tankers can take this oil out to markets elsewhere. And the issue, of course, is not only is it not so great to cross First Nations land, but the possibility of oil spill apparently is very real because of the treacherous passages to navigate. Yeah,
and I guess the big thing is the First Nations still have authority over that land, so it's up to them what happens to the property, but nothing. They were never consulted about it, I guess. So they never gave it the go ahead, but it's happening anyway, which violates all their rights.
Exactly. So this is not going down without a fight, and in fact, some of the more vocal processes are just saying it will not happen. That this Prime Minister does not have a proper mandate. So stay tuned. The next year or so will be interesting. Well, that's great. So a small amount from the sales of Daniel's record Monday Morning will go to Eco Justice. So that's awesome. Daniel, you are actually, I noticed too that you kind of recorded this yourself this time, this record.
Right.
I can only imagine that having a producer there telling you what to do all the time is a lot different from a huge responsibility for creating everything yourself. What was the experience like for you?
Well, it's something I've always wanted to do, production, but it just seemed like it was so intimidating to learn how to do. And then, but for me, it just was a matter of getting past that and just investing the time and learning what button does what. And I guess I didn't really realize, but all the times I've done albums with producers in the past, I was kind of getting an education just by working with them. So it was actually a lot smoother of a process than I expected it would be. And so that's my next thing is I'm trying to do as much production as possible. But it's definitely a lot more work, you're right.
Did you have all the songs fully formed and all the hard work done before you had to... So you didn't have both sides of your brain going all the time?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is what made me decide to do it, because every time I've made an album in the past, I already have the songs produced in my mind going into the studio. So it's just a matter of laying down each part. And I said, well, I could do all this myself because I know exactly if the song's already produced. I don't really need a producer, I need an engineer. And so I just, I decided to fill both roles myself, and it was actually a more preferable process because I'm somebody that kind of likes to go into a recluse from society for a while and just get really invested into a project and then come out of my cave again. So that's what it was like making this one.
Oh, that's great. Well, the results are impressive, and time for another track from this album, or from...
Well, it's up to you.
Well, anything, whatever you have prepared there.
My preparedness is I'm always unprepared. I'm not prepared for that. But maybe I'll do a brand new song I just finished last week. Give it a shot.
Even better.
It's another song. I haven't named it yet. I think I'm going to call it Sorry Number 2.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
Sorry, you've made that quite clear. And I know you're leaving the same time next year. So I sit here and wonder should I care at all? The time it is fading, it fades in this way. I was still waiting when you slipped away, so I sit here and worry nearly all day. Move along, my dear, but don't move for the presence of fear, 'cause nothing is easy. Nothing is easy. Gentle remissions, subtle reminders of hope. Told you, why should I? It's such a waste of time. Standing beside you, what could I do to get my peace of mind? And you're fading away. It's something that I've noticed a little more each day, and so I sing goodbye. Goodbye.
Thanks, Daniel Moir, for that song there. It's a brand new song, so probably the first time that a great number of human ears have heard that, you'd think?
Yeah, I think you're the first, actually.
Lucky listeners. Tentatively titled Sorry Number 2. So Sorry Number 1 is available online. Actually, it's probably a good time to mention danielmoir.com. That's DANIELMOIR.com. And you can join the mailing list on there too. What are your movements like for summer?
Well, I was going to do a few house concerts, but they didn't. There was some change in my plans, so I'm not touring until October. But I've got the new video, like I said, coming out next month. So there's that, and then possibly a new single. But just getting ready for I'm doing a tour all the way down to Regina this coming October, so I'm just preparing for that right now.
I've spent some time there. I've got family there, and actually it's probably a good time to talk about the prairies generally, because you are from Edmonton, and I've spent time there and got to know some of the great musicians there. Mm-hmm. And I get a sense that actually I'm going to go right back to the start of the show. I was talking about the Masters Apprentices, this great band from Australia, and I was playing some of their very early songs and a couple of social commentary songs about these guys struggling with some of the insincerity that they saw around them when they were starting out in the music world. I've spent time in Edmonton, and honestly I can say that the most sincere people I've met are from there, and I can tell you've benefited from a great musical kind of supportive environment with a lot of sincerity was there. Would you say?
Yeah, definitely. There's that aspect of it. Edmonton's it's got a great sense of community, and it's famous for that, not just in the music world, but I think just in the city in general, because there's not much else, and it gets so cold there. People tend to band together. Or in a city like Vancouver, which is an amazing city, but people just tend to not travel, in such packs. I find people are kind of doing their own thing, which is not better or worse. It's just a prairie thing, I think.
Did you want to mention some of your eyes sort of moved over to a tape board there, and you said some names popped out at you.
I noticed the band Fuck the Tundra, which is some Edmonton guys, and then we got to chatting there. We found that we had some similar friends, I guess, from the area. Yeah, City Streets are Edmonton guys, and then it's all one community. I used to play with a band, and they went on to back City Streets, went on to play in Fuck the Tundra, went on to one guy, Corin, went on to form Purity Ring, which they're huge right now. So there's a lot coming out of Edmonton too. You don't really know what comes from there in the first place.
And I did notice on your online presence talking about a fair bit of travelling to in Europe. What time did that occur?
That was well, I've been to Europe a few times, but where did you read that?
Oh, somewhere online. Something I sure saw the word vagabond.
Okay.
European vagabonding. I'm sure I read that somewhere.
Various times spent vagabonding around Europe and musical adventures. But I spent most of my time performing in Canada and the States, doing solo concerts across Canada. I wasn't performing very many shows in Europe, more just kind of vagabonding, like you said. Yeah.
Great. Well, we're talking with Daniel Moir. He is our special guest today. And he's already played us a couple of songs, and I think there's time for one more at least.
Speaking of traveling, this is a song about a place called Penticton, which is one of the first places I ever toured to, and I just found that every time I went back there was really bizarre, crazy adventures that I would get myself into, and it didn't happen in any other city, but something about Penticton had that kind of energy, so I wrote a song about it.
Great.
Penticton.
All right.
All right.
I crossed the mountain, crossed the water, in a search for all that's kind. And in the Okanagan Valley, there's a town there I did find. There was a light that shone so softly, sweetly, slightly on your brow. And from the silence of the water sprung the question asking, how can I live life? And sun won't set, I'll go to Penticton, where hair hangs down and sun comes out and air's not so cold, and feet dance to beat of drum. And in the thickest stars of morning, when the heads are all at rest, there is an urge that wakes me early, and it pulls me to the west. So when the days are growing darker and the snow builds on the ground, I know that just beyond the valley there's a town that's there where hair hangs down and sun comes out and air's not so cold, and feet dance made of truth. And I'll go where the sun won't set. I'll go to Penticton, where hair hangs down to the ground.
Thank you, Daniel Moir. That's our third and final track today, live on CiTR Radio, Penticton. Now, where exactly is that?
It's in the Okanagan. It's right by Kelowna, right by Kelowna and Kamloops, kind of in that loop there.
Is it on the Greyhound bus route?
It is on the Greyhound bus route, yeah.
It is, so I have been through there. I just can't get a visual reference, but now I have an oral reference for the town.
I've greyhounded through there many a time myself.
Yeah, and had some adventures which maybe people will have to listen closely to the lyrics to maybe pick up on. So, well, awesome. That is off the latest release, the latest at least hard copy release from Daniel Moir. Monday Morning, it's called. Self-produced as well. And you can find out more information at danielmoir.com. That's DANIELMOIR. And his latest single, Sorry, is available for free download or streaming at SoundCloud. So yeah, thanks so much, Daniel.
Thank you for having me.
Not at all. No problem at all. And hopefully, we'll keep in touch. So when some house shows or any shows come up here, we'll be able to let people know.
That's great. Yeah.
And if we get time towards the end of the show, is there any from Edmonton? Is there one song or album or person you'd like us to play? Any request or?
That's
might be a tough one. There's a lot.
Someone who I've been listening to is just coming out of there. A girl named Kaylee Thomas has some good songs.
How do you spell that name?
CAY.
Yeah.
LEY.
Okay.
THOMAS.
All right.
That's it.
All right.
She's got some good stuff.
Okay, I'll do my best before the end of the show. If not, it will be next week.
Tried to forget her, my girl. Monday morning, everything is better, and all my tears I have shed, I can't cry them anymore. I am standing on the edge. I am ready to soar. Monday morning, everything is better. Monday morning, everything is better. On a Sunday,